Alright, ladies and gentlemen, Fab's in the house, and today I'm in the house with the Jake Hoback A8 Slimline here with me for a review. We're gonna analyze the look, the sound, and the feel of this bad boy. But hey, don't forget to like the video and don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you like what I'm bringing to you guys. That's gonna be a huge help. So let's check this guy out. Here we've got the Jake Hoback A8 Slimline. Overall length of this guy is going to be 7.8 inches with a closed length, like handle is going to be like 4.6, 4.7 inches, and a blade length of like 3.25 inches, which in centimeter will translate in like 8 inches blade, 8 centimeters blade, 12 centimeters handle, and overall 20 centimeters in length. So not like a huge knife. In fact, for example, you can check it out up against the Ontario Rat number 2 and the Ontario Rat number 1, and you're gonna notice that this guy is just a little bit bigger than the Rat number 2. But it's kind of like beefier. If you're a Benchmade fan, maybe you own a mini bag out and there's your boy, or maybe you like a little bit bigger knives and there's your regular bag out. So you see that mini bag out is just smaller. I mean, both are smaller than that, but this is much smaller than the A8. A couple Spyderco, of course. We've got Para 3 right there, and you can see we are kind of like in the same ballpark. But if you whip out your Paramilitary 2, you're gonna notice that this guy is bigger than that, but not by much. So we are kind of like in the middle of the two Spyderco options. Here you have a Chris Reeve knives, large Sebenza 21, and here you've got the smaller brother, that's the small Sebenza 21. So you get an idea of this guy being in the middle of these two Chris Reeve knives options. And let me show you a couple of higher hand knives. That's the Shirogorov Sienkiewicz collaboration Kami Flipper. Fantastic knife, guys. Just for a second, check out handle to blade ratio of this bad boy is just insane. They are pretty much the same size, but here you have Koenig Knives Arius. That's the Style 55 Generation 4, which is bigger than the Hoback. And what else? Just another couple of bad boys. That's the Hinderer Knives XM18. That's the 3.5 inches version. And here you've got your Snafu 2.0 by Custom Knife Factory, designed by Peter Rassenti, of course. So you can see where this guy is at. So it's not a big knife, but it's a beefy one. Even if this is the A8 Slimline, this is kind of like a beefy one. I mean, it's an overbuilt one. And look at the lines. It is very, very well balanced. I like these sweeping lines when closed over here. So this is a Hoback knife. This is made in USA. The price on this one can vary. They don't really hold that much the value after you bought this new, but it really depends on the condition and on the market at that time. But this is a titanium frame lock. It has some nice lines. The scales have this pattern, like you see, it's like in two levels. This is like a perfect option for the inlays, of course. Look at that, they're just calling for like some sort of carbon fiber inlays or whatever. And this is two slabs of titanium with some nice chamfer going on. Got some aggressive jimping right here in the back. You have some internal chamfering over here, which is a good thing, mostly 2D milled. Inside you've got some internal skeletonization to reduce weight, which is always fantastic. You've got these two finger grooves, which are gonna just fit your hand beautifully. Then you've got a titanium, almost full-size titanium backspacer with lanyard hole option here, which probably is better if you, I mean, you can still do it, but probably it's better if you take this guy apart and you just use your lanyard right there, and then you can see that the blade is perfectly centered and recessed right down deep into the scale, so it's not dangerous in any ways. You've got the flipper tab that is sticking out a little bit, there's, I mean, nothing sharp. You can easily, of course, do like light switch deployment method. You can do also like a push button, but it's not going to be as comfortable as the light switch. You've got these screws, like 1 pivot and 3 handle screws, which are not protruding, just flush with the handle. This assembly is going to be super straightforward because, I mean, there's just, it's just simple. You have, interestingly, 2 screws here to hold in place the stainless steel lock face insert, which is, yeah, it's interesting. It's something pretty new to me. And you've got a little bit of a protrusion of the stainless steel insert, you see? And this is what you're gonna take advantage of when you disengage the lock bar, because there's not much area here to grasp the lock bar. There's no jimping here. There's just a little bit here. So I'm inclined like to use that because that's sticking out, so I have a little bit more purchase there. But then you see you have to take this guy down because there's the detent ball ramp, which is a little bit steeper, so it doesn't, you still have a little bit of hard step. I mean, not hard step, but still, it's not that smooth. That's what I mean. Also, you've got the Hoback rolling detent over here, which is adjustable from the outside, which is a nice thing. So basically, it's like a ball bearing, which is rolling inside a socket. So that's a really cool idea. You've got a titanium tip-up carry only pocket clip. It's not reversible, and this much knife is gonna stick out from your pocket, so not properly a deep carry pocket clip. You have a CPM 20CV blade, which has like a DLC black fallout finish, nicely done. The jimping right over here, it's recessed, so not too aggressive. It's kind of like a not that functional. I mean, this part here is functional because it's outside the handle, but this part here, not that much. And then you've got the pretty cool swedge going on. Look at that. This blade is sexy. And then you see like that, you have a nice flat intersecting here, and just a slight recurve. You have a belly here, a slight recurve here to the non-existent sharpening choil. And that's my first gripe on this knife. You have some chamfering here. There's no billboarding going on the blade, which I always appreciate. Nice nice finish, nice coated finish. No jimping on the flipper tab, but overall this blade is looking really good. And let's just quickly check the thickness of the stock, which is going to be 0.1565. And behind the edge, this guy is not that thick, because, like, for example, look at this, like here is going to be 0.0375. So it is quite thick behind the edge, to be honest, but this is, it's like an overbuilt knife, and it kind of have sense for this, but I would have honestly preferred maybe a little bit taller primary bevel and a little bit thinner behind the edge thickness for the blade. You can see also that you see when you sharpen this guy, you just get to the plunge grind, and yeah, just a little sharpening choil would have been fantastic. But honestly, the blade shape is really cool. The sound of this guy, it's like that. It's a nice and deep clack when you open it. Very pleasant. And you also have the swoosh of the bearings. I don't know if you can hear it when you deploy the blade. When you close the blade, you just have a very dampened and very mellow sound. Not piercing, not percussive. When you close it, just elegant. When you open it, not too loud, but it's a nice clack. Clink. And clack. So very interesting. Nothing like super special, but yeah, it's not too bad. The weight on this guy also is gonna be around 5 ounces. Look at that, 5, perfect. Even if the card says we're 4.7 ounces, so they missed 0.3 ounces. It's not like a super light knife. There's some internal skeletonization, but there's a lot of material, so that's why it's like gonna be 5 ounces. For the feeling department, this guy feels absolutely great in the hand. This is probably my favorite part because it creates like a very nice finger groove, and the flipper tab just wraps around the index finger. You see, like that, it just feels great, like this extra little bit, like holding, it's just fantastic. So 0 hot spots, there's no sharp edges. The feeling when you need to disengage the lock bar like that, it's not the best because there's not enough room here to disengage it, but I mean, it's just right there. You got some jimping here, you got the jimping right here on the back, which I probably preferred like over here, because when you hold the knife like that, you flip it here, so that's the part where it needs eventually the jimping, like not to slip in your hand. If you do a reverse grip, this then is going to become useful because you're going to be holding in place kind of like that, so that is good. You can't really choke up on this one. You can kind of like use this area here, but there's no advanced jimping here, so I probably wouldn't do it. Maybe like the fingertip like that, but not really. But anyways, this guy feels absolutely rock solid in the hand. Look at this full-size backspacer. This thing is not moving. It's not going anywhere. It's not that slippery because of this texture, this pattern going on the handle. So you're gonna have an extra grip. There's some jimping also, which is gonna help with the grip, and the fit and finish. Overall, it's pretty good. I don't see anything out of place, any misalignments, any gaps, any rattling when shaken, so there is no blade play, up and down, left and right, no finger soreness from the flipper tab as long as you do the light switch. A little bit of here missed opportunity for the comfort in the disengagement of the lock bar, but there's no lock stick, of course. You see, the stainless steel lock face insert is doing its perfect job. The clip ramp over here is a little bit on the low side. The clip stiffness is good, so good retention in the pocket. And this guy is also running on bearings, and the action is, I would say, not stellar, because I don't know why, but I mean, the deployment action is good. It's very fine. The closing action is, you see, like that. You have this free falling effect, but then you have the detent ball ramp, which is kind of like hindering the path and creating kind of like a little bit of a step because it's a little bit steep. So then you need just a wiggle to have it close. So nothing too crazy, but it's, yeah, I would have perfected a little bit maybe the detent ball ramp to have a smoother closing action, because you have to overcome it and then just wiggle it to have it closed. So, I mean, detent strength also is very nicely dialed in. Nice detent solution from Hoback. I mean, this is an overall pretty cool looking knife with some fantastic ergos, great blade shape, a little bit thick behind the edge. You've got also another little issue, which is the screws that are directly screwed into the titanium scale, but you have a nice detent system, you have a nice coating, a nice blade shape. It's menacing, it's pretty tough. It's not like super light, the sound is alright, so I mean, it's an okay knife, and not my favorite, but it's for sure, I see some huge potential on this one. So there you have it. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to like the video and to subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned.